Hi there guys, and welcome to the channel that celebrates itself. Yet more negative news. So we had Graham Naismith from Pale Saints passing away, the guitarist, in early April. And now here we are, a month later, pretty much, early May, and we've lost someone with another big 4AD connection. In fact, this person has a massive impact on the whole music industry, the rock industry in particular, and that is the great Steve Albini, the American producer, with his signature sonic style of recording the room, putting plenty of mics and placed around the whole room, and making sure that the performance of the musicians is captured, just keeping it as raw as possible. And it delivered a unique trademark drum sound. The way he like DI'd the bass using like direct injection and all that was like really important, and yeah, it was all innovative for the time. Especially coming after the 1980s, where everything you had, your Matt was it Mutt Lang, the guys who really overproduced stuff like Mutt Lang on AC/DC's Back in Black, or even more, a better example would be Hysteria by Def Leppard. So you had people like Mutt Lang, and Steve Albini was like the counter producer really to that. He was like all about keeping stuff raw and like not over editing everything. And yeah, of course, the Pixies is really probably what kickstarted his career. That was like the first major band. The Pixies were on 4AD, so that's what I was talking about when I'm saying about the 4AD connection. And yeah, he produced Hum, apparently. I think it was like their really early demos. And the Wedding Presents, which I'm not actually a fan of, to be honest. I saw them live at the Junction in Plymouth, was it last year or the one before? And I thought every song sounded the same. Yeah, just really kind of uninteresting band, but I know a lot of people like them, especially the people who are into the indie scene of the early 90s. People really go for them, but I don't see it. Anyway, yeah, but can't like it all, can we? But yeah, like more, I would say, influential in the grunge stuff. It's about keeping stuff raw and dirty, and like if there's mistakes and stuff, then he kind of like enhances that, and like he likes random noises, which is why obviously people like Kurt Cobain and like Nigel Pulsford from Bush, he produced Razorblade Suitcase, which is Bush's sophomore album from 1996. And yeah, someone like Nigel Pulsford is like the perfect guitarist for Steve Albini to work with, because Pulsford was like this kind of noisy, anything goes kind of guitarist, where he would just leave in lots of feedback and like bummer notes, like ones he didn't actually fret properly, and yeah, just that whole like messy tremolo picking and the messy slide playing and stuff. Very Neil Young kind of guitarist, and I think yeah, Steve Albini would be his kind of thing. Like, I can imagine him working with Neil Young. So yeah, the whole kind of grunge. Yeah, he was like the godfather of the grunge style guitar playing. So yeah, a bit of a sad loss there. I mean, he's there with like the greats, isn't he? With John Leckie and Steve Lillywhite, and even like George Martin, Alan Parsons, Nigel Godrich, Hugh Jones, like all of those guys. Bloody John Cornfield. He's up there with those legends. And yeah, the unfortunate thing is that that sort of breed of producer is really dying off in the 21st century. You just don't really get those names anymore, do you? Associated with the music. I mean, everyone's kind of producing themselves these days, and this is relating back to my DBS work of the home studio versus the pro studio. And although the home studio is more convenient for everybody, I would say that the whole kind of profession of like working your way up the hierarchy and being an in-house engineer, like being the in-house T-boy and then working your way up like Alan Moulder did at Trident, working his way up to being from T-boy to mixer to engineer. John Leckie did that as well, starting at Abbey Road. But those that seems to be like a bygone era, you know, not just the record labels, but also the big super producers. It's just a thing of the past, and it's a real shame. I think that is something that really could do with coming back. And I do think that, you know, I mean, obviously I'm an independent indie fan, but this kind of, which is all about the do-it-yourself approach. So I might be a bit hypocritical in saying that, but I do think I do believe that the producer is really important still, because it's a job, isn't it? It's another role. It's so you're basically taking people out of work if that role is no longer there. You're losing business in the music industry there. You're losing that sector. And yeah, I mean, some people are so skilled at music production that they need to go further than the home. They need to actually be part of a company and then be paid for what they're doing, instead of, you know, because there's probably thousands of super like John Leckie kind of people and Alan Moulders just sat at home and no one's recognizing them. So that's the problem with the today's world. You do need that kind of hierarchy in the professional studios, where someone works their way up and then they reach that apex, that moment at the top of the mountain where it's like, yes, I'm now getting paid for this and I'm working with incredible artists. So yeah, kind of the whole Steve Albini passing really has kind of just prompted me to talk about that. Makes you think, really, doesn't it, about the whole, yeah, sort of the death of the producer, and it's really a dying art, unfortunately. So yeah, rest in peace, Steve Albini. You might not be everybody's taste in production, but regardless, you're still a legend, and keep it raw, keep it real. That's Steve Albini for me. See you later, guys.